Good morning and welcome to the first day of the official press conferences for the College Football Playoff Semifinal at the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Please turn off all your cell phones for our press conferences. Today's first press conference features Texas Defensive Coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski. We'll have 15 minutes of availability with Coach Kwiatkowski. Then we'll open availability with 5 Texas defensive players. After Coach makes a brief opening statement, we'll open the floor to questions. Please wait for the microphone to ask your question, and please identify yourself by name and media outlet. Thank you. Coach?
Good morning. Well, obviously we're very excited to be here. Starting last January after our season got done, the guys would go back to work, and the guys put in a lot of time and energy to get to this point, and obviously very excited to be here, and obviously playing a quality opponent, and who I have a history with, and who the team has a history with from facing them last year. And so we're all excited to see what we can put out there on the field, and see if we can play like we have played all year long.
All right, thanks, Coach. We'll open it up to questions. We'll go right here in the front row.
Andre Richardson, OrangeBuzz.com. Pete, your third down defense has been outstanding throughout this entire year. What has been the key for you guys to get off of third downs?
Well, it starts with we've made an emphasis because we weren't as good last year on third down, so it was a huge emphasis in the off season, through camp, and all season long. And then at the end of the day, we design the defenses and the calls, and then the guys have just done a great job of executing all year long. They understand the importance of it, and obviously take a lot of pride in it, and the results are what they are.
All right, left side, second row.
PK, when we began the season, you talked about the need for greater urgency when it came to forcing turnovers. Obviously you started the year really well and kind of hit a lull mid part of the year and then picked it back up. Just overall, how have you felt the unit's done and kind of respond to that challenge of forcing more turnovers?
Yeah, obviously a lot better than it's been. I've been through a lot of seasons where we've had seasons like this where the ball's bounced our way, or we've created the opportunities to get the ball. I just think the guys, again, are executing the confidence level, the ability to know what they're doing, be able to execute what they're doing, and then having the awareness to attack the ball in the situations that present themselves. And again, it comes back to the emphasis. We talked about the third down emphasis, and the turnovers was a huge emphasis. And so as coaches, we emphasize that. The players build on it, and then with the confidence, the experience that the guys have, they don't get caught up in so much worrying about their alignment and their assignment, and just getting and surviving. Now there's more familiarity with what they're supposed to do, and so now they're able to take it to that next step, attacking the ball.
We'll stay right here in the second row on the left side.
Joe Cook with Inside Texas. What has Tavondre Sweat allowed you to do with the rest of your defense? And then Tavondre's a fifth-year senior. He's just an older human being than a lot of the guys he's facing. How is that just an advantage to be 23, 24 when facing maybe 19 and 20-year-olds?
Yeah, so there's two pieces to Tavondre. Obviously the physical stature that you mentioned, but also his level of maturity and growth as a teammate, a leader, has been awesome. From the first year that we got here to now, to see his growth and how he approaches, how he communicates with the guys. Not so when it's going great, but when it's not going, when we face adversity. He's a very influential guy in that locker room, and so to see his growth from a leadership standpoint, it's been awesome. And then, yeah, he's a big dude that's, there's an athlete somewhere inside that body. That's what we always joke about. But he is hard to move. He eats up a lot of space. He takes multiple blockers, and so that frees up the linebackers, gives us a little bit more, bit of a luxury to be able to play with lighter boxes because of what those two guys inside can do in the run game.
We'll go to the front row on right side here.
Chip Brown with Horns 24/7. PK, can you talk about the challenge of trying to get pressure on Penix against the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line?
Yeah.
And secondly, it seemed like some of the issues in the pass defense seemed to come when you were trying to protect a lead. Can you talk about what was going on against Houston and TCU and K-State?
So trying to get to Penix, obviously the offensive line does a good job of protecting, but it goes hand in hand. When the quarterback gets rid of the ball on time and is in rhythm, you're not going to get there. So from a defensive perspective, the coverage and the rush, they go hand in hand. Most of the sacks that we've gotten or anybody gets is because the coverage forces the quarterback to hold it, right, confuse them, right, or quarterbacks try and do more with it than they should. And then, because rarely do we get blowaways, right, where guys just, unless they bust the protection. And the Washington offensive line does a really good job. They're very athletic. They do a good job working together. Obviously communicate very well, and they don't bust very much. And so, yeah, we got a huge challenge in front of us. And then in reference to the late, I don't know, I guess you're referring to a lot of it's big plays, right? And whether it's a coverage bust or guys in position, it just doesn't make a play on the ball. And then some of it is tackling. It's a short throw, and we don't get him on the ground, and it goes from a 5-yard gain to a 20-yard gain. And so, you can't just pinpoint it on one thing. Maybe we gave him too much time on plays, and quarterbacks around there scrambling around and can't cover forever. So it's not just one thing. I know the guys in their heart and they believe they can play at a high level, and it's football. They have scholarship players and they have good athletes, and so as much as teams throw, some teams are going to get yards. As long as they don't get in the end zone, we're good with it.
All right, left side, second row.
Hey, PK, Bob Ballou, CBS Austin, right here. Sark's talked a lot in the last month about the culture, the development of the love and the vulnerability and those kind of things. How do you describe your relationship with your players and just your personality when it comes to understanding what your defense needs?
Yeah, I'm more of a reserved guy on the staff, but when I do speak, I think maybe it resonates more because everybody's looking around sort of like, where'd this come from? But, we all, at the end of the day, we all are working to get better. And as coaches, we're trying to get these guys to play to the best of their ability. And then when you pair that with what you're doing, how their family's doing, the relationships you build with them and what you talk about off the field, away from football, it all matters. And I just think it's been a journey. It's been a lot of work in building that trust and that connection over the last few years. And I think when you build trust, they believe, and then when you start playing well, it generates confidence, and then you got that synergy that gets you to something like this.
All right, right side, front row.
Coach Kwiatkowski, Terry Middleton, Horns Illustrated. So you've had several weeks to kind of prepare for this game, knowing you probably have extreme confidence in that front line, and there's been some challenges in the secondary. Since you've had this time to practice and prepare, are you equally as confident in both the secondary and as you are in the front line?
No, definitely. You don't get to this spot without guys showing that they can do it. Everything gets talked about the pass defense, and yeah, we'd like to be better in that. But at the end of the day, there's a lot more to it than just that, right? We've been great against the run. We've been good in the red zone. We've been good on third down, and the situations that matter that gets the ball back for the offense, we've been able to execute and perform. So I know the guys have the confidence to do it, and they're fired up for this challenge because we're going to be playing a lot of very talented, good receivers, and can't wait to get out there and see what we can do.
All right, left side in the middle.
Kirk Bowles from the Austin American-Statesman. Pete, if you can look back 2 years ago, it was kind of the roughest start. Probably you can imagine, taking over a new job with Sark here. Can you kind of trace your satisfaction and how you've kind of come from that first year to, I don't know, maybe having one of the best defense you've ever had? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I've been doing this for 35 years, and there's great seasons and there's tough seasons, and then it always comes back to football is football. Don't make it more than it is, and stick to the process of growing and getting better. And then you go out on Saturday and you go out there and put it all out there, and you're either good enough or you're not. And then whether you win or lose, you come back and you do it the same process again. And as human beings, that can be hard when you're losing. And then obviously when you're winning, it becomes easier, more enjoyable. But yeah, it's the process of putting the defense together, working the fundamentals, the techniques, and getting everybody on the same page. And you do it day in and day out, and then after this year, we start the process all over again. And so, yeah, we had some good ones at Boise and Washington, and this is definitely right up there with them for sure.
All right, right side, front row.
Hey, Coach, Thomas Jones of the Austin American-Statesman. This is probably the most productive passing attack you've seen since Oklahoma. How's your secondary, specifically, your pass defense, better equipped to hold up against the receivers? And what areas of improvement have you seen in the pass defense since that OU game?
Just better understanding of the leverage, and we've tweaked some things in the back end that have helped them. But at the end of the day, they're going to catch the ball. We got to get them on the ground, right? And so when we tackle, right, we have it and don't give up explosive plays, and we try and force these offenses to drive the length of the field. We're pretty good, but it's all about tackling and controlling the explosive plays. And then there's the deep balls they're one-on-ones, right? And they do a good job. We got to go up and compete, and we got to play the hands, play the ball, and there's no magic answer to that other than competing and being where you're supposed to be, and then at the when you're high pointing the ball, right, and making a play on the ball, playing the hands, and hopefully getting the ball stripped out.
All right, Coach, we have time for two more questions. We're going to start on the right side in the middle.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com. Coach, you mentioned earlier familiarity with playing this team. How much does it help that you've already faced Penix last season in the bowl game? And also, do you feel like there's a greater motivational level for your defense to play better than last time against them?
Yeah, as competitors, you always want to get another shot at somebody that's beaten you, and so that's no different in this instance. And then having already played him, just we've watched him a lot, and he does an outstanding job of getting the ball out and from multiple platforms. Right, he could be looking one way and then flick the ball the other way, and he's got good touch and good accuracy, and he's got really good receivers that he's thrown to. So yeah, we know how good he is from last year playing him and watching him all year long. We know what kind of challenge we got on Monday.
All right, last question, back left side, back row.
Ted Lewis from the Orleans Times. Speaking of two things. First of all, can you confirm the suspension of Derek Williams, and how does that affect the team, at least for one half? Also, you were asked about Washington's offensive line winning the Joe Moore Award. Are they the best offensive line you face this year, and what makes them so effective?
Yeah, so Derek's won't be in the first half from the targeting penalty from the last game, and next man up, and he'll be ready to go in the second half. And then the O-line at Washington has done an outstanding job all season long, keeping Penix on his feet, and in the run game. And the offensive line coach is one of my best friends, and so we know each other very well, and he's done an outstanding job, and we'll have to go out on Monday and see how we can do against them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
At this time, we have Byron Murphy, Tavondre